News 2 at 6.
Good evening. Tonight, breaking news. A person of interest identified in the Christmas Day bombing, who police are now investigating. Welcome into News 2 at 6. I'm Alex Dennis. Tonight, new developments in the Christmas bombing that left a historic stretch of downtown Nashville looking like this, full of rubble, smoke, and ash. And now a person of interest, Anthony Quinn Warner, has been identified, according to ABC News. And investigators from the FBI and ATF spent the afternoon outside of Nashville in the 100 block of a Bakertown Road in Antioch, searching properties connected to Warner. And that is where we find News 2's Chelsea Bimeford live at the scene for us tonight. Chelsea, now what have you learned?
Yeah, Alex, federal agents stopped searching the house here behind us about an hour ago that we know has some sort of affiliation with Anthony Warner. We're going to show you some video we took earlier today. This is what the scene looked like. FBI and ATF agents coming in and out of the house, collecting evidence and taking photos. We also saw a SWAT team on scene. They left the area, though, in an armored vehicle shortly after we got here around 2 o'clock. The basement door, which leads out to the fenced-in backyard, was open, but we could not see what was inside. If you search the address here on Bakertown Road on Google Maps, you'll find an image of the home captured in May 2019, which shows an RV in that fenced-in area that looks very similar to the images that Metro Police released of the trailer that exploded in downtown on Christmas morning. Neighbors tell us that the RV had, the RV had been parked there for years, and now it's gone. One neighbor we spoke to said it had been there for a very long time. She just described it as something that looked very old and like it was not used very often. We'll hear from her later tonight on News 2 at 10. Now, yesterday, Nashville Police Chief John Drake also mentioned that investigators had found what appeared to be human tissue at the scene of the explosion. So now, presumably, they are working to see if that belongs to Anthony Warner. Reporting live in Antioch, Chelsea Bimeford, News 2.
Chelsea, thank you so much. And the explosion yesterday affected more than 40 businesses and restaurants already struggling during the pandemic, including Pride and Glory Tattoo. The tattoo parlor is located right next to where the explosion happened, leaving the building gutted. We spoke to the owner today, and he says he hasn't been able to go back to his building to sift through the rubble.
We've all been trying to work as a team to really recover some of the stuff maybe we could find, and but we haven't been able to go down there and look. It's just been the guys doing the investigation looking, and from what we hear, it's not good. So they can't really find much.
GIBSON says he and his staff were slowly getting back on their feet after COVID hit so hard in the spring. He doesn't know when authorities will allow him to return to the blast site to survey what's left, if anything, of his business. Another business that took a hit, the Melting Pot, located in the heart of the blast zone on 2nd Avenue North. The moment the explosion happened was captured right here on the restaurant's security cameras, and the damage is severe.
The restaurant business is rough as it is. I could tell you some regular stories from just last week about the difficulties, not including the pandemic and now this. So every day is a challenge, but we're fortunate to have really great and dedicated folks that do the hard work to make people happy. That's what we do.
Mark also owns RODIZIO Grill, which is directly above the Melting Pot. It was also damaged. A GoFundMe page was started to help the employees already struggling due to the pandemic. You can find that online. And as people across Middle Tennessee still grapple with the explosion felt throughout the area, first-time visitors, well, they're in shock as well. News 2's My Owen shows us how tourism may take a hit after the dust has settled.
The heart of downtown Nashville, welcoming people to the Music City during the holidays.
To take a trip at Christmas time like I normally do, and I thought this would be a fun place to go.
What brought you to Nashville?
Every year our family goes on vacation for Christmas, so we chose Nashville this time around.
Rocked to its core on Christmas Day.
The whole building shook, so we all went to the window and said, "Did you hear that?" And yeah, it shook the whole window and the building.
I was half asleep in my bed and I heard this big explosion, the big noise, and I thought it was thunder at first, and then I heard sirens. That's when I knew something had blown up.
Not knowing it was much worse.
The last thing you expected to see
Was a bomb.
Tourism favorites like the Johnny Cash Museum, the Melting Pot, and even Joe's Crab Shack all stuck on the other side of this yellow caution tape close to where the explosion happened. And now tourists and business owners alike are worried about what's next.
I think that we might see some people that are fearful of coming downtown. I do.
Gino's East Pizza, located on the corner of 3rd Avenue South, nestled between two hotels, just 4 blocks away from where the blast happened.
I tried to check on the business, but they blocked off the streets, so there's no way to actually come in and check on it.
Finally able to go inside Saturday morning. The building still intact, but worries businesses downtown will be feeling the effects for days to come. Maya Owens, News 2.
Well, Mayor Cooper announced it will be several months before downtown Nashville will return to normal. But he says he knows Nashville will come back from this stronger than ever.
Well, it's shocking. It's not unlike some of the tornado damage that we saw. It's very concentrated, but I think we're going to rebuild. We're going to reclaim what is Nashville. This is a historic part of our city. We need to bring it back.
And an update now to the AT&T outage affecting so many people. Well, the company says it continues to make progress and has started to restore power to the facilities in the building damaged after connecting generators through the walls. They hope to have the equipment back up online in the hours ahead. So far, service in the Lexington, Kentucky area has been restored. Head to WKRN.com for the latest on the